And here we go. Welcome, everyone. If you're joining us from afar, welcome to you. We've been here waiting for you, and so we're so glad you joined us. Right now, we're going to have some wonderful music, and I invite you, if you're able, to stand, and we'll sing our way into the service.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, yeah. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. All right. Please take a minute to greet someone that maybe you haven't met yet. And if you're online, type something in the chat.
There you go. Nice, y'all. Thank you. It was all you. It was all you. That adds a lot. Isn't that a fun cruise? Yeah. And that having that tambourine really just adds a little something in there too. Awesome. Look at all. She'll
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome here.
All right. If there are any children in the audience who would like to join our teachers at the front to go out and do some really fun things outside and around, please join them at the stage.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We've got Mother Nature and the human race. The world's got trees and bumblebees, rivers and lakes and the open seas, mountains and valleys and the animals too, and a sun that shines on me and you. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We've got Mother Nature and the human race. We've got Mother Nature and the human race.
Thank you. Oh, and they are the magic, are they not? So welcome this morning. I am your practitioner, one of the practitioners this morning, Kit Zinn, along with Wanda Maddox and Joanne Allison. All of us wearing stoles, of course, are in service this morning. We have several ways for you to be able to request prayers if you wish and are shy about talking to any of us. We have a prayer vessel on the table in the back where you can actually write it out. We have a prayer form online. So please don't hesitate. Even if it's the middle of the night, you can still reach us. So, and thank you for silencing your phone. So please join me for morning prayer to open our celebration at this time. So please join me knowing that there is truly only one life force, one all-knowing inspiration, the creator of us all, and yet it resides personally within and uniquely within each and every one of us. And knowing, as we have come this morning to honor our own sacred space and to perhaps create a broader base within ourselves, that we come with open minds and open hearts and are totally aware of that gift, of that presence, and feeling ourselves on that solid foundation. We can be open to hear what is in Dr. Andrea's message this morning, that the way out is the way in, and conversely, because all of the answers known and all of the inspiration come from within, from that one all-knowing presence. And I trust and know that this is a time of discovery, of deepening joy, peace, and love, where I am accepted and I am able to spring forth, sharing my gifts with my community and my world. Releasing these words knowing that they are so in every unfolding moment, I do reaffirm with gratitude and a grateful heart. And so it is.
So it is.
Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour your joy in me, pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour your love in me, pour your love into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, shine your light in me, shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, sing your song in me, sing your song into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, dance and smile in me, dance and smile into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. I see the beauty in you, I see the power in you, I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I see the child in you, I see the sweetness in you, I see the softness in you, and so it is. I can see it, it's right there before me, I can feel it deep in my soul, I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the goodness in you, I see the wisdom in you, I see the strength in you, and so it is. I see the joy that's in you, I see your light shining through, I see the love that's in you, and so it is. I can see it, it's right there before me, I can feel it deep in my soul, I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the grace that's in you, I see the courage in you, I see the heart in you, and so it is. I see the beauty in you, I see the power in you, I see the greatness in you, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome again. How are you today? Yeah. Awake and ready. It's a very good thing. Yeah. I had an interesting morning. My family has been here, and my 3-year-old and 5-year-old grandchildren were here this morning. Yeah, no. It wasn't like that. I wish it was like that. But no, we were full on 3 and 5. Yeah. So they're on the road now. So this is all to say that this talk is a little interesting just because I couldn't think at all while that was going on. It was like, Archie, don't spill the milk on your sister. Lulu, stop hitting him. Those kind of things. But the topic is the way out is the way in. And it's an interesting topic in light of our theme for the month, which is wholehearted living in a brokenhearted world. Yeah. So what I wanted to, immediately as I sat down to actually think after they had left, this story came to me. And so I think I'm going to read the story first. And I kept going, this is an interesting story to share. It's from my friend Bill Martin, who is a Taoist teacher, a really lovely Taoist teacher with many books. And so this is the story. It's based on a very familiar myth that you may have read about at some point in your life. Sisyphus strained his back against the all too familiar weight of the boulder. He knew by now every crack and crevice, every variation of texture, every uneven surface of that boulder that was his to push up the mountain. He also knew every step of the steep path up the mountain that marked his journey. He would push this boulder up the mountain until he reached the top. Once at the top, there was no place the boulder could rest, and it would roll down the mountain all the way to the valley where the journey had begun, and his toil would begin once again. One day, Sisyphus descended the mountain and found an old man leaning against the boulder, looking at him with a sad smile. "Who are you?" Sisyphus said. "A friend," the old man said. "Why are you pushing this boulder up the hill?" "It's what I have to do," replied Sisyphus. "I'm being punished for my arrogance, pride, and sinfulness. But once I get the boulder to remain on the top of the mountain, I will be free." "I see," said the old man. "And is there a place for the boulder to rest on the top of the mountain?" "I haven't found one yet," replied Sisyphus. "I see," said the old man. Sisyphus stood quietly for a moment. Then he turned and put his shoulder to the boulder and started back up the mountain. As he pushed and shoved his load over the rocky path, he thought about the countless times he had repeated this process, always hoping that this time would be the last, that the boulder would find a resting place and he would be free. When he reached the top, he looked around with a new clarity. The top of the mountain was solid rock, and the peak was far too small for the boulder to balance firmly. "It will always roll back down," he thought. And at that moment, the boulder dipped away and began its journey, crashing and tumbling back down the mountain. Slowly, Sisyphus made his way back, his mind filled with clarity and despair. When he reached the bottom, he found the old man once again, leaning against the boulder. "Well," said the old man, "there is no place the boulder will rest," Sisyphus said. "I will never be free." The old man took Sisyphus by the arm, gently pulled him to one side and said, "You know, this valley is quite beautiful, isn't it? Walk with me for a while and we'll enjoy each other's company." Sisyphus looked around, and indeed the valley was lush and inviting, filled with fields and streams and forest. He took a deep breath of clean, fresh air. He stretched his arms and for a moment enjoyed the sights and the aromas. Then suddenly, his shoulders slumped, and he turned back to the boulder. Before he began his endless trek, he asked the old man, "What is your name?" "Oh, my name is Freedom," said the man. "Will I see you again?" said Sisyphus over his shoulder as he began to push the boulder. It's been a long morning. "Will I see you again?" said Sisyphus over his shoulder as he began to push the boulder. "Well, every time you come down the mountain," the old man said. So I was like, okay, the way out is in. And the story of Sisyphus comes to mind. And the story told this way, where every time we get down the mountain, we make a choice. And classic myths aside, we actually have the choice. We do. But like Sisyphus, I think a lot of us don't realize how free we actually are because we've been told we're not, and we've acted as though we're not. And the more we believe we're not, the more true that becomes. And so one of the fundamental teachings in our philosophy, the science of mind, is the teaching that our consciousness, that which holds us in this lifetime, that is filled with our beliefs, our ideas, and our strongly held emotions, our consciousness creates our reality. And in that way, we certainly are like Sisyphus. We create our reality. The valley's there. The beautiful lushness of life is here. But finding our way into that kind of free feeling sometimes isn't. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that today because I've had such a privilege being a minister for so long and hearing people's life stories. And so at one point in my ministry, there was a woman named Marta. And she'd been coming for quite a while. She didn't ever talk to me. Like some of you, you come and you go and you like it. Obviously, you keep coming back. But I haven't gotten to really actually sit with any of you that are coming and going like that. And Marta was one of those. Until one day, I did some talk. I don't remember what it was. And Marta came up after the service. And it was a talk on freedom. And she said, you may not have noticed, but I have a foreign accent. And I said, well, actually, this is one of the first times you've spoken to me. And she said, yes, I'm German. I'm a German Jew. And I said, oh. And Marta was considerably older than me. And she said, I just wanted to tell you my freedom story because I believe and agree with you 100%. Because there was another talk about your consciousness creates your reality, your personal reality. She said, so my story began in Germany with the rise of Hitler. And my family, all of my family, was slated to go into one of the camps. And I was 7. And before that could happen to me, my parents looked at me and said, run. And so I left. I ran. And I ran out of the city that was the only place I'd known, and I began to walk. And I had no money, and I had no food, and I was 7 years old. And I walked across Western Europe until I got to France, which at that time had not been invaded yet. And along the way, every time I stopped to rest and sleep, there was always someone that would help me. And they gave me food, and they gave me shelter, and they told me how to go and where to go. And they had friends that they sent me to. And so I made it all the way across Western Europe until I came to the Atlantic Ocean. And then I didn't know what to do. And I was staying with this woman, and this woman said, I have a friend in America, and I am going to put you on a ship, if you're willing, and send you across the ocean to my friend. And that's what happened to Marta, is stranger after stranger after stranger helped her along the way until she could come to the shores of America, be received by this family, and live with them while she grew up. And what she said is, you know, I owe my existence to the multitude of people who helped me along the way. But none of that could have happened if I didn't leave and follow what my parents had told me and find my way. I was free as a child to either stay, and it would have been my death, or to leave and trust that I could find a way somehow, somewhere in this world. And I was so taken by that story. I mean, just imagine, do you know a 7-year-old? I mean, that's an incredible story. But what she really wanted to make the point about was that she was free, and that's why she could do that. And that along the way, her freedom brought to her what she needed to move on, to keep going, to keep moving forward. And I think that's a very powerful example of what you and I actually also have at our disposal. I know it doesn't seem like it sometimes. I totally know that. And I certainly know that there are underprivileged and disadvantaged groups around the world that also it doesn't feel like that. And for the most part, it isn't like that for them. And for the most part, it isn't like that for a lot of us. And yet, there's a Marta in every single one of us, actually, that we can tap into. There's the place, in other words, that can make a new choice. But what often holds us from doing that is tradition, habit, the ways of thinking and believing and feeling that keep us lockstepped into how we've been doing things. But we don't have to do that. We can make a new choice. We can choose something else. And so for me, one of the lessons in the story that I read about freedom and Sisyphus is how he turned back to the boulder even after seeing freedom, seeing beauty, seeing a different reality, experiencing it, walking in it, but then turning back. And I have that part in me. I know I do. And so what I'm aware of is that in order for us to become Marta in our own experience, in other words, to leave the habitual ways that might be trapping us in living and being in a way that really doesn't fit us anymore, I guess is what I'd say, is we have to gain insight. And that's what he did. Freedom was like, see, and he saw it, but then turned back. And so one of the things that I've learned about insight is it requires action to actually become a new reality. I have seen so many truths that I did not follow up on to my pain, and yet over time they keep showing up, and finally I see it enough to be able to go, oh, why am I not following this? What's up with that? And so what I know is up with that is that there have been seeds planted in my consciousness from the time I came into the world And those seeds were both positive and negative. They told me things about myself and the world that were good. I was in a very lovely family, turns out. And I didn't know it at the time. I thought they sucked, but they didn't. And also negative seeds. And to gain insight and move on it, those seeds that we've been watering with our habitual ways of being and thinking and feeling, we have to cut the water supply off. We have to take the insight and actually move it into action. How do we do that? Well, for me, it's paying attention. So the quote that I'm working with today is, the way out of any difficulty is to look deeply within, gain insights, and then put them into practice. And so the practice piece is the piece that I over and over would fall down on. I would see something, I would know that it was true for me, but I didn't engage it with practice enough to counteract the habituated ways that I was moving in the world until I did. And so what I've noticed about insight is it can happen in two ways. Every once in a while, has this happened to you? Every once in a while, I'll be blessed with such a blinding flash of insight that I can't ignore it, and I actually change on the spot. Anybody? It's so great. Because it's just like, okay, bam, I'm over that. I'm here. But most of the time, it's not like that at all. It's actually the work, the practice of taking the insight and practicing it and practicing it and practicing it until I begin to change how I'm seeing or thinking or feeling or being enough so that the insight can actually take hold like a new seed and blossom and grow in me. And it actually takes some effort. And so practicing insight becomes kind of what the spiritual path is actually about. And Bill Martin has another story I thought I would tell you. I'm almost out of time, but I'll tell it to you anyway. I'm in my last 6 weeks. You may have to be here a little longer. I mean, So this one is called The Magic Glasses. And actually, it's one of my favorite stories that Bill tells because, well, you'll see if you relate. I do. A young woman came to the Taoist sage to ask for help in dealing with all the things that were wrong with the world. She complained to the sage, "I'm so angry and so frustrated with the way things are. I'm tired of seeing all the injustice, meanness, selfishness, greed, ignorance, and just plain wrongness that surrounds me. I want to find relief from all of that." "Do you really want to do that?" said the sage. "It's a difficult practice." "I really want to," said the woman. The sage considered for a moment, then reached into her tote bag and pulled out a pair of glasses. "Wear these," she told the woman. "They're enchanted glasses. When you wear them, you will be able to see only those things that are acceptable to you. You will see nothing else. All of the wrong and unacceptable things will be invisible. You will see only that which pleases you." "Wow," exclaimed the woman. "Give me those glasses. What a relief that will be." "Wait a minute," warned the sage. "Once you put these on, they will not come off. You will have to wear them constantly for at least a year before they can be removed. Are you willing to do that?" "Absolutely," cried the woman. "Give them to me." She grabbed the glasses and put them on. Immediately, the sage disappeared. The sage's hut remained, but most of the furniture was gone. So was the sound of the rain that had been falling on the roof. She walked out into the street and found that the marketplace was deserted. She stumbled and fell as she ran into a trash bin that had become invisible. Frantic, she tried to pull the glasses off, but found that she couldn't do that. She ran to her home to talk to her husband, but found that he was gone. Her next-door neighbor was gone. Everyone was gone. You see where this is going. "Help me," she cried. The voice of the sage appeared from close by, startling her. "Well, what is it?" said the sage. Everyone's gone. Everything's gone, she wailed. I just wanted the bad things gone, not everything. The glasses are revealing to you the way you actually view the world. Nothing and no one has been immune from your judgment. You'll have to learn to live with the world you see. After several weeks of stumbling and fear and confusion, the woman began to settle down and think to herself, I miss my husband. I see how I've judged him in so many subtle ways. He's really a wonderful man. Hi, honey, said a familiar voice. She looked up and there stood her husband. She threw herself into his arms and sobbed. With her husband's support, she began to see the ways in which she had been insisting that people and things be what she thought they should be, rather than what they actually were. Gradually, more and more people began to return to her awareness. More and more things began to reappear to her sight. And with each appearance came a wave of gratitude in her heart. After a year had passed, the sage sought her out and asked if she was ready to take the glasses off. Oh, yes, said the woman. My world is rich and wonderful, but there may be things I haven't seen in a long time. I want to welcome everything back into my life, even the painful things, even the sorrow and loss. I want to have it all. I want to know how things really are, all of it. To get to that state of consciousness requires us to do spiritual practice. You're already wearing enchanted glasses. You just have to put them on more and see what it is that's judged. See the things that are resisted. See the things on your path that require your attention, but you don't really want to do that. And then do it anyway. And that, in a nutshell, is my spiritual path, is do it anyway. And do it anyway. And do it anyway. And along the road, what's happened with that attitude of like accepting and loving regardless, having compassion regardless, doesn't mean that I like everything, doesn't mean that I'm happy all the time, darn it. But what it does mean for me personally is that my heart has gotten bigger and bigger. And my love for what is has become more and more grounded. And my experience of my life is an experience of freedom. The Marta in me has the room to trust that Spirit is with me all the way along, even in the situations that are difficult, even in the people that I find trying, not you, of course. This morning, maybe there were a couple little guys that I was really practicing with. And that's the point, is, we're given so many opportunities to gain insight and transform and become freer. So I'll do a prayer for that, and then we'll move into the rest of our service and our day. So join me in this knowing. I'll speak this for myself, but know this for yourself if you would like. I know that there is literally only one that has taken shape and form through all that is, in me, through me, as me, and in all things. This absolute, perfect, divine wisdom and love is shaping itself through everything and offering itself entirely into being, giving all that it is, offering all that it is. And what I remember about myself is this. Because this is factory equipment, I was created in this image and likeness, flowing with it all the time. I am free. I am free to be miserable. I am free to be happy. I am free to have serenity. I'm free. And my freedom manifests itself when I accept that choice and make it. So in this prayer, I accept for myself the willingness. I am willing to make the choice for freedom. Freedom from irritation, annoyance, freedom from fear, freedom from anger, freedom from all the seeds that would rob me of myself and free to choose the ones that open me more fully to my truest nature. I accept that this presence in me knows how to do that thoroughly by means of me, and I'm grateful. And so it is. Thank you, everyone. So, before the ushers, so hang out for just a moment, I would like to invite one of our Giving Intention speakers to come up. She's one of our board members, and she's also just an incredibly cool woman if you haven't met her. Very wise. So Mary Lee Webb, would you come forward? Yeah. I've asked just different people from the community to talk about why they give to the center, because we're in our 4-week program. This is the second week of the Giving Intention program, where we invite you to consider giving to the center. So come on up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, just a few words about my background. Most of my childhood and my young adult experiences out of the Lutheran tradition. I was an organist for the Lutheran Church. I went to a Lutheran college for my undergraduate. In fact, I even married a Lutheran minister, from whom I later separated. And I ran away from all of organized religion. It just didn't fit anymore. I became a psychologist and a consultant for interpersonal growth and development. And I found that this was during the time of the humanistic time for psychology, Gestalt therapy, this sort of thing. And I found that much more meaningful. A little later here, as quantum physics came into vogue, I found it just a really good fit. I believe in all this stuff about energy and us as an energy being, and the interpersonal relationships we establish in our conversation as energy, and our relationship to the bigger universe as an energy system. So that then brought me to retirement. So a few years ago, I retired, and I came to Bellingham, and had to kind of start over in terms of making friends and building community and all that. And about 3 years ago, I finally landed here at CSL. I was kind of resistive at first because I kind of liked that traditional music. But now, I love what we do here. I really do. So here I am, and initially, I just sat in the pew every Sunday and, took in these wonderful, wonderful talks from Dr. Andrea, and all of the warmth and everything. And then I thought, well, this is really, really good, but I'm not building community. So I started getting involved in all of the smaller groups. And I can't tell you how I have just been delighted, and how I've grown as in my spirituality through all of the classes that we have the opportunity to go to, the retreats, just everything. Well, then finally I was asked to be on the board, so I decided this year that I would tithe. I would do the pledge. I'd never done that before in my whole life. I didn't want somebody telling me that I had to give 10% of my money to somebody, to an institution. And but I thought, all these wonderful things that I've experienced, I want them to keep going. I want us to have lights in the building. I want us to pay the mortgage. I want her to have a salary. I want all these things, so I tithed. And then, you know how Spirit does, lead you a little farther. Right now, I'm in this class that Andrea is teaching. What do we call this?
Change your thinking, change your life.
Yeah, change your life. And I find out that this tithing business is all just for my benefit. And it's wonderful. Gee, it's my benefit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read a little bit from the book that we've been reading in the class, because I think it says it better than I can. The word tithe means a tenth. To tithe is to return 10% of all we receive to a person, place, or institution from which we receive spiritual food. I'll tell you, we have a real banquet going here at CSL. Lots and lots of good spiritual food. And what is the spiritual food? She says that it is that which inspires us, teaches us, reminds us of the truth, and causes us to remember who we really are. And what is the purpose of that tithing? The real purpose is to acknowledge that God is the source of our good, and that we are aware and grateful for the good in our lives. And then finally, I'm getting it about this abundant stuff, giving and receiving, where you give and you get back more than you've given. And she says, what is the tithing promise? It increases our faith and pushes us through conscious fear. When we tithe, we give back to the universe. And when the universe gives back to us and more, we learn we cannot outgive God. Thanks so much.
Thank you. So what we're doing, in case you're new, is we're doing an intentional ask. And every year the budget team gets together. They're incredible. They're very accurate. And they figure out how much we're going to need in the new year to run the place, to pay the minister or the interim minister and the new minister, to figure out, all the costs involved, try to balance it all out. And then we come to you and we say, okay, this is actually optimally, this is what we would love to receive so that we can do everything that we're doing and continue to provide spiritual food. And so the number for that in this coming year is $201,000, which, sounds like a lot, unless you're also in a nonprofit, and then no, it's not. But what's beautiful about our community is, first of all, we don't get money from anybody but us. And second of all, everybody gives at the level they can. Not everybody can give 10%. I mean, for some of us, just giving 2% is a big deal. And it's beginning to work a muscle that later we might be able to bump up and give more. But a lot of us, just in the giving of the small amounts we can and putting it all together with people who can give more than that and more than that, last year we actually received $220,000 from all of us. So it's not impossible, but we do just like every other pledge drive you hear about, we do encourage you to think about the spiritual food you receive here. And particularly in this year where I'm retiring and a new person is coming in, you might think to yourself, well, I don't know if I'm even going to like the other person. Maybe you've had that thought. You'll get to vote on that, first of all. So hopefully you'll like them and vote for them, whoever they are. But second of all, as much as I like to think I'm important, and I am in a certain way, what's really true here is how powerful our community is. And it's not just about me. The love that you feel walking in here, and I hope you feel it, is about all of us who give, not just money, but we give our love, we give our time, we give our talents, we give to one another by just supporting one another wherever we are. And it's such an inclusive, incredible place to come that won't go away unless you do. And I hope you don't. Because while I need to be gone for a while to let the new person kind of figure out what they want to do, I'll be back. But if it's not here, I can't come back. So this is very selfish of me to say. Please stay. And I'm planning on giving, even though my salary drops off a cliff January 1st, because it's so important to me that this community keep going and keep loving and keep growing. The next minister will grow you. I did, and now it's time for someone else. I'm excited for you and me. So the form that we're asking people to fill out is available online. We also have some at the Ask Me desk. And there's two different areas really to give. The general fund pays for everything that Mary Lee was talking about. And then we have a project in the community where we provide laundry services for the unhoused. When I came here, I looked at what is not being covered. There's so many generous organizations that are making peanut butter jelly sandwiches and providing meals and providing temporary housing and things like that, but no one was providing clean clothes. And so we decided, well, laundry's the way we're going to go. So you can give to the Love Laundry line on the form if you would like, and that helps us keep buying laundry detergent and providing laundry services to those who have children and want to have dignity and live in clean clothes. So that's what this is. There's a newsletter that we only put out once a year that tells you how we've been spending the money that you've been giving, whether you were on the Giving Intention program or not, and a message from me. So thank you ahead of time. We're asking everyone to fill out a form who can by December 1st. And the budget committee will come in after everybody's turned in their form, and we'll adjust the budget just like you do. And if we receive more, yay. And if we receive less, well, we'll have to make some cuts. I don't think the lights will go. All right, so with that, why don't we go ahead and now I'll invite Janet and Lynn forward, who are our ushers for today, and thank you for anything that you do give in any way to our center.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. Spirit divine, come to me, feeling love, healing me. Open my heart, allow me to see beauty and love lives in me. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are whole. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are whole. Spirit divine, come to me. Open my heart. Allow me to see. Sorry, my phone. Open my heart. Allow me to see beauty and love surrounding me. We are holy, holy, holy. I am holy. You are whole. I am whole.
Beautiful, you guys. It's great that this is a perfection-free zone. I say syphilis instead of Sisyphus. So what you did, no problem. So before we get to that, I wanted to share some sad news with you. One of our community members, Renee Howell, passed away last week. And we're very sad about that. And there is a memorial service happening this Friday here at the center at 1 o'clock. And we would love you to come if you knew Renee, if she touched your life in some way. You'll probably remember she was sitting at the back there helping the sound team do what they do. She offered yoga here, was part of our Victory Garden team, just was involved in lots of ways. So we're going to honor her, and at the end of the sharing inside, we're going to have a fire ceremony because she was a yogi. And we wanted to honor that tradition in her. So we'll be having fire ceremony right after. So 1 o'clock this Friday. I hope if you knew her, feel free to come. So we did that. So that's good. And tonight, even though Tabor couldn't be here this morning, she is going to be doing a community song circle tonight from 6:30 to 8. This is really an extraordinary, wonderful, simple thing to do for yourself. It is group singing as in the old times when people would go out and work a field and sing together, or would sew quilts and sing together, or do the kind of community things that used to be manual labor. They would sing. And so these are very simple songs. They're easy, and it doesn't matter whether you can sing or not. You're just there being part of community. So you're invited to come. Make a donation that supports the center and Tabor, and we'd love you to be a part of it at 6:30 tonight. And then I'm doing something, let's see, I don't think he's here today, but one of my students said, before you leave, would you consider just being open to being asked spiritual questions and answering them? And I thought, well, sure, I can do that. I do it every day. But to make it manageable, what we're doing is it's going to be after the service on the 24th here in the sanctuary. And I have two people that would love to receive questions ahead of time. And because there's likely going to be similar questions, so they'll help bundle those questions into one big question. But if you've always wondered about, I don't know, reincarnation, or I don't know, whatever you've wondered about, I'll do my best to answer your questions. And if it's something I don't want to answer, I'll tell you. So there are question forms at the Ask Me desk in the coffee room. And we'd love you to come. And even if you don't want to write down a question, if you're curious, why don't you plan to stay afterward for 45 minutes, and we'll have a Q&A. And that'll be really fun for all of us, I hope. And then this is your last shot. Because our community is going through change and transition, and also because the country is going through change and transition, and also because I bet you there's a lot of people in this room that are going through change and transition, Cindy Clay, one of our practitioners, who's now in ministerial school, is wanting to offer a workshop that she has offered to lots of different organizations, and is now offering it for free because she loves all of us and we love her. It's going to be happening December 7th from 10 a.m. to 2, so bring a lunch. It's very applicable to everything from the global situation to your personal life. And it's certainly applicable if you're worried about transition here in our community. What you need to know about that transition, I also have some good news. I have a friend who's visiting today, Reverend Dr. Nadine Rogers. She's right here. Nadine, would you? Yeah, she's been a friend for a long time. She happens to be an interim minister. She's not going to be our interim minister, but if you've been having worries or doubts or questions that you would like answered, she's just finished a interim ministry post in West Hawaii. Lucky her. Our poor Reverend Dr. Bob is coming in January. And so, but she'll be up at the front here afterward. And if you have any questions you'd like to have Nadine talk to you about or concerns, she'll help you understand the process and also tell you why you don't need to be concerned. Thank you, Reverend Nadine. Okay, let's see what else. So beloved Carmen has had to let go of the coffee team. And so we're looking for a few good people that would be interested in joining the coffee team. There goes Janet right now with Yummies. And there's Lisa. And so what they do is they come in, they make coffee for all of us. They are often provided with snacks, which happens to be the case in today's coffee hour. And they need help. So if you would like to be on the coffee team, you can talk to Kathy Brigado. She's right there. Or you can let us know that you'd like to help, talk to one of the ladies, and we'll get you involved. It's a really great way to get to know people. They get together on a regular basis and have, you guessed it, coffee. So we'd love you to be a part of that. And then a couple times a year, what we've been doing is getting people together to make a whole bunch of high-protein, high-fat cookie dough. And we've been inviting other people to take the dough home and bake the cookies, because our oven isn't that big, and then to bring the baked cookies back, and then we take them to the distribution point, and they go out to people who are unhoused and often are in places where they're not accessing the food that's available downtown in Bellingham. There are people that maybe are a little leery about organized anything, and so these cookies are often the only thing they have all day. And they are frankly disgusting, but they're so good for them. You know, this is one of those relative things. Like, you know, I'm not a Jiffy peanut butter gal, you know. And high fat is like, well, I really like that, but I shouldn't be doing that. But they need it. And so there's an ingredient list at the Ask Me desk, and if you can't come on the 2nd of December, which is a Monday afternoon, which many of you can't, maybe you can help provide some of the Jiffy peanut butter and the protein powder and all the things that go into these cookies. And if you can't come, maybe you can be a baker and come and grab the dough, take it home, bake it, and bring it back the next day. But any way you can help, this really makes a difference in people's lives and reaches out and lets them know they're loved. So thank you ahead of time. And guess what? The Spirit at Work folks wanted me to give one last talk at their breakfast meeting, and you're invited to come. It is Wednesday, December 4th from 8 a.m. to 9:30. You register online, and we do appreciate early registration so that we know how much food to buy and where to set up, either classroom or sanctuary. And I'm giving a talk about the atmosphere of your business. So whether you're an entrepreneur or a healer or you're a manager in a company, this talk is for you, and I hope you'll come. All right, that's enough for me, at least for now. Why don't we all stand, and we will sing our way into the day.
Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. You gotta go Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Have a wonderful week, everybody.
1, 2, 3, 4.